Okay, so now we're multiplying, dividing. That's a times dot in the middle. What's the story with multiplying, dividing fractions? What do we need to do? It's not really funny going on outside. So what do we do? Yeah, for example, do we need to get common denominator? No, not required, huh? You know those rules, right? So for multiplying, dividing, right? No LCD needed. You know that. You don't have to get common denominator. All right, well, what do you do then? Do you just multiply top, bottom? Do what's that? Not cross multiply, but cross cancel. Right? We're going to cancel. In other words, we're going to reduce the fraction, right? Cross cancel. So in other words, I'm going to look at the 33 and the 88, for example. What goes into 33 and 88? Yeah. And this I would let you, you'd have a calculator on this part. These are messy. So that's what I mean by I'm not going to make you do crazy hard numbers without a calculator. This would be using your calculator. So divide top and bottom by 11, right? And that'll make this 3 and that 8. Are we good there so far? Now, does 37 go into 74? I think it does. 60, 14. Yeah, 2 times. Use your calculator if you're not sure. 74 divided by 37 is 2. Yeah, so really what I'm doing is I'm dividing this by 37 and this by 37, and that leaves a 1 and that leaves a 2, huh? So now we have 1 over 8 times 3 over 2. We good to there? So all cross-cancels, I want it more and more in this class. I mean, this is exactly what my job is to what you're wanting to do as well, is leave nothing mysterious, because you're going to teach other people what this is. You guys know cross-canceling is just simply simplifying. That's all it is, right? There's nothing magical about cross-canceling. I just am dividing top and bottom of it. You could do it straight up and down. It doesn't have to be diagonal. It just so happens that I went diagonal. But I want you to know that that's no mystery, no surprise, weird thing. We're just simplifying the fraction. That's all cross-canceling is. So we get to here, and there's nothing more we can cross-cancel, huh? There's nothing more that simplifies. So now what do? Just go straight, huh? Just boom, boom. 1 times 3 is 3. 2 times 8 is 16. Done. We good there? So cross-canceling, as it's called, is just simplifying. It's just dividing the same number out of the top and the bottom of a fraction. That's all it is. All right. What do you think? Now, can I cancel things here? What about the Costco glue stuff we talked about last time? It's not here, huh? There's no pluses or minuses. So it's a free-for-all. You can cancel anything you want. Just like shopping at Save Mart or whatever. You can buy just one. Right? You with me? There's no pluses or minuses here. That's when things are glued, and you have to worry about that. No, this is just go for it. W cancels one of those, leaving one W on the top. Good so far? What else can I do? Yeah, the C goes in, leaving 1 down there. Anything else? N goes in there, leaving 2 of those. All right, so what are we left with? Looks like W, Z on the top, and N squared C on the bottom. So you can cross-cancel, because there's no glue. There's no pluses or minuses. Good? All right. Find multiplicative inverse. Now, what is the multiplicative inverse of a number? It's the reciprocal. In other words, upside down. It's the upside down, the multiplicative inverse. It's the upside down. So how do I do the upside down of 2 1/3? Yeah, you first got to make it an improper fraction, huh? You first got to go 2 times 3, add 1. 2 times 3 is 6, add 1 is 7/3. So 2 1/3 is 7/3. And so then the multiplicative inverse is 3/7. So once you make it improper, it's easy. Just flip it. Good? Questions? There for x. Basically, it's a little equation solving like from algebra. So, and I believe they do this in some of the 6th grade curriculum. So, how do we solve for x? How do we get x alone there? What do we do? There's a few different ways. There's not just one right answer here. Any ideas come to mind? How can we get x alone?
You can multiply by the reciprocal or
Good, Giselle, right? Yeah. You could do that's the quickest way. That is the quickest. Let's do that, and then I'll show some other ways too. 4/15 x is 9/5. Yeah. So I'm gonna do what Giselle said. Just multiply by the upside down, the reciprocal, and whatever you do to one side, what's the rule? Yeah, and why? Why do you have to do the same thing to the other? So you don't change anything, right? If two things are equal and you treat them the same, they'll be equal when you're done. Right? That's called the property of equality. You want to sink that deep in kids' minds so it's not just magic. Right? If two things are equal and you treat them the same, they're going to be equal afterwards, aren't they? So yeah, and so that's a great idea because the 15s will cancel, the 4s will cancel, x will be alone in one fell swoop. Now, how do we simplify the other side? Yeah, 5 goes into 15 3 times. Good. And nothing else can cross cancel. 4 and 9 have nothing in common. So then you just multiply what's left over. 9 times 3, 27 over 4. I think they'll let you leave the answer that way. I don't think they make you change to mix. So let's leave it that way. They do. So you're looking at the homework right now? Excellent. I appreciate when people have it open. So I take that back. I guess they do. Let's change it to mix. So you know how to do it? Long divide bottom into the top. Goes in there 6 times, 24, 3. So the answer is 6 3/4. Good. Let's do one more. We got 2 minutes. We can get one more done. All right. So how do we solve that for x? That's kind of weird, huh? Yeah. Now, any thoughts? What's that divided by x going to do? Do you remember that dividing? How about I suggest there's a lot of good things you could do here. One of them is, remember that dividing is upside down multiplying, right? If I take 100 people and I divide by 2, that's 50 people. Or if I take 100 times a half of 100 is also 50. My point is, dividing by 2 or multiplying by the upside down of 2 is the same thing. You know that, right? So dividing and multiplying are just upside down, right? So what does that mean then? Instead of dividing by x, what could I multiply by that would be the same as dividing by x? 1 over x. Right? Just like dividing by 2 is the same as multiplying by 1 over 2. You with me so far? Okay, so what? Well, then that means you can multiply these two, 6, and multiply these two over 7x. We good to there now? Now remember that x is on the bottom. What can we do now? How are we going to solve that? We're kind of running out of time, aren't we? Let me stop there. We'll talk about